Hey guys, this is Daily Bread number 2. We're going to be reading from John 4 today, specifically when Jesus talks to the Samaritan woman, which is going to be from verses 1 to 26. If you guys are looking to grow your faith or find like a little easy way to like start getting more involved in your faith, I use this app called Manna, and it'll take you through the Bible. It'll do little stories at a time. It's kind of like almost like Quizlet. And it'll give you like little questions to make sure that you're still like dialed in. And I really like it. It's free. It'll pop up with subscription stuff, but I don't think you have to pay. But if you guys want to check that out, it'd be a good idea. Maybe, I don't know. All right, let's get into it. Now Jesus learned that the Pharisees had heard that he was gaining and baptizing more disciples than John, although in fact it was not Jesus who baptized, but his disciples. So he left Judea and went back once more to Galilee. Now he had to go through Samaria, so he came to a town in Samaria called Sychar, near the plot of ground Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired as he was from the journey, sat down by the well. It was about noon when a Samaritan woman came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" The Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink?" Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." "Sir," the woman said, "you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where can you get this living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did also his sons and livestock?" Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." He told her, "Go call your husband and come back." "I have no husband," she replied. Jesus said to her, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What you just have said is quite true." "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you are a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem." "Woman," Jesus replied, "believe me, a time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, for salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is Spirit, and his worshipers must worship the Spirit and in truth." The woman said, "I know Messiah is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Then Jesus declared, "I, the one speaking to you, I am he." So this is a longer passage, and I'm going to figure out if I want to do longer passages or shorter passages. We'll see how like the real length is. It might be too long, but either way, I'm sorry about the reading. It'll get better. I think the reading out loud is going to get better as I go on, so just bear with me right now. But what I wanted to focus on in these verses is 13 and 14, which is when Jesus is talking to the woman about the water of life, the living water, and she compares it to her water that she's drawing. And he says, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst." So obviously he's getting at that the drinking water, you're going to get thirsty again. But worshiping Jesus, following Jesus, you're not going to need that thirst for outside things. You're not going to need that thirst for earthly things. And I know it's very easy, especially for me, to get caught up in earthly things, when really the only things that are going to get me to paradise, that are going to get me into eternity with the Lord is by worshiping and growing my relationship with God. And it's not these earthly things. It's not money. It's not pride. It's not power. It's not lust. It's not water. It's my relationship with Jesus. Also, I think it's very important to note that Jesus is just great to this woman. He's telling her about it, and at times he's like being more direct. But Samaritans at the time were seen as less than Jews, and of course it's Jesus, so he's going to treat her awesome. But I think it's very important that we try to treat everybody like Jesus did, loving our neighbor no matter what they believe, where they're from, like he did. And he asked her for some water, and she was like, "What are you talking about? You're a Jew. Like, you want water from me?" And I think we can just go out of our way to be nice to people, especially if they're not expecting it. Especially with Jesus knowing that she's had 5 husbands and she's with another. And that's probably not a good look in her community for her, but regardless, he doesn't put a label on her. He doesn't judge her. He just loves her because she's a child of God, and he expresses what salvation is coming to her and makes a believer out of her. And so that's what I think we should aim to do as Christians. And I know it's a struggle, and I'm not where I want to be with that. But I'm going to start working more, because I thought that was very impactful. And then finally, I think it's very important to note that at the end, verse 26, then Jesus declared, "I, the one speaking to you, I am he." When they're talking about the Messiah that's coming, when she says, "I know the Messiah will come and he'll explain everything." And Jesus says, "I am he." So he announces that he is the Messiah. And so I think that's a very important thing to know. But thank you guys so much for watching. That's all I really had. Thanks guys. Have a blessed night.